First up, and of course I have piled all sorts of things up on my agenda. Jason or LaShonda, I don't know, are both y'all gonna tag team?
I was volunteered, sir.
Okay.
Yes, afternoon. This is for the creation of a field services manager job classification. I will go ahead and answer a couple of questions. This does not represent a new FTE, and this increase from another position is budgeted, is within IT's budget. This does not represent an increase, Mr. Russell. So this.
What's driving the need for a vote?
Absolutely. 3 years ago, we took over the job of managing the city's fiber optic network from Public Works. At the time, we had a field service. We had a fiber optic supervisor and 2 technicians. Over the last 3 years, that the role that team plays has increased significantly. They are now over all the security cameras that the city has, as well as now the access control for the city's security, in addition to the fiber optic networks and the city's physical networking and equipment. As that need has grown and as we have worked through things such as construction projects that we have in parks, there is a need to review plans and design plans. And so as over time that position and that group has gotten to be more important in its responsibilities, we felt that creating a manager position versus what is currently now a supervisor position was warranted due to the increase in work that accompanied that and technical expertise.
And is it a change in pay classification?
It is a different classification than the supervisor, yes, sir.
How many people does it affect? One? Or
Just
five?
one. Yes, sir.
One.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? All right, that passes. Thank you, Jason. Mr. Green, I think you have something similar.
Yes, sir, I do. Good evening, counselor.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'll start by rolling my eyes at LaShonda because I was voluntold.
I got you.
I do want to say LaShonda and her team did the heavy lifting to get us to this point, so I greatly appreciate that. This construction superintendent job classification, you may recall from our department budget presentation for FY26, these are 2 positions that we had in there for request of approval to add some mid-level management support to our streets and drainage division. So this position or classification will function as a prioritization of work, handling quality control, as well as looking into just over our overall workflow and safety compliance. So budget-wise, this is a new classification, but it does not increase the budget of Public Works because we have made other adjustments in our operations for salary-wise, where we have eliminated some vacant positions to reorg and make room for these 2 positions. Any questions?
It'll create 2 of these positions?
Correct.
Does it eliminate whatever they were, they're not? Those 2 are now going to
So
these
what
new
what we've eliminated are other work functions within Public Works. That included a supervisor position, a heavy equipment classification, and several of our concrete finishers. That gave us room to create these new management positions.
And are they gone? Off
Yes,
of
sir,
here?
they're gone altogether. And our salary budget benefits on the whole have gone down for Public Works.
Okay. I don't have any other questions or comments.
Have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Sally. Appreciate you.
Can I say something real quick? Am I allowed to? Just say one thing.
Very quickly,
It'll be real quick. It's, for years, I've talked to a fellow by the name of Selvin. I live on Audubon, and I've had many requests over the years. And it's the first time I have actually seen him, and I want to say that he is phenomenal.
We know.
He does a
yeah, we're
phenomenal
gonna keep
job.
him around a
He
little while.
does a phenomenal job. I recommend a pay raise.
Now you
Selvin,
move.
thank you.
That's enough. All right, thank you, Sal. Thank you. All right, Mr. Holmes.
Wow, that's gonna be hard to follow.
Do you want me to pay somebody in the audience?
He's a lawyer. Nobody likes him.
So while we're here today, I'm gonna kind of back up a couple steps to explain what we're doing here. So typically, council will pass our legislative agenda towards the end of the year before the legislative session. This year, we kind of have a combination of two factors driving the need for this resolution. One, our legislative agenda will be passed, I believe, on December the 16th. The legislature starts early this year. They start in early January. We have two items that we are working to pass this year that are local bills. Local bills work a little bit different than general bills, and they have certain publication requirements. You may recall, I'm trying to remember the bill a couple years ago that actually the newspaper messed up our publication requirement and kept us from being able to get that bill passed that year. But that publication requirement requires that the local bills be published at least 4 times on 4 consecutive weeks before they can be considered by the legislature. That, and we've also heard from leadership in Montgomery that the speaker intends to get all the local bills up early, get them taken care of and moved off so they can go ahead and start with what I expect to be a brisk and speedy session this year. And so in order to have our local bills advertised with enough time to have them taken up when the speaker intends to have the local bills come through, we wanted to go ahead and get this resolution before you. It is doubled up and is on tonight's agenda, so we can turn around and start hitting our legal notice requirements.
Okay.
Any questions on
You
that?
want to brief us on what they are?
The two items are the item to remove the executive director of public safety from the fire and the police bills that mandate overtime. And so if that position would not, if they came from a firefighter or came from a police officer, would not require overtime from either of those. And the other is a bill to allow full-time mayors in Tuscaloosa County to participate in the RSA.
Any questions about either one of these? I think we've discussed them a good bit. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Kreitz.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Everybody's here.
Yes, I'm glad everyone is here for this discussion.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Truly. Council, if I may, I'd like to divide our Sidewalk Cafe discussion into 2 parts. The first part would be the text amendments, sans fees, and then a fee conversation. Because as I mentioned in the email I sent out, if we are not able to potentially come to an agreement on fees today, I'd like to get the text going just so that we can eventually get to a place where that moratorium does get lifted and we can continue to move on and allow some businesses to get the permits that they need to do business. So let's get into a quick discussion about the recommended changes to the text. You've got a red line version in front of you, as well as the menu of fee options. Set that blue and green menu of fee options off to the side for a quick second for me. And let's run through those proposed code changes quickly. From the last time that I was here 2 weeks ago, nothing has changed except for one minor thing. I'll get to that in a second. Of course, right now there's that unclear relationship between right-of-way use permits and sidewalk cafe permits. We just want to make it clear that the granting of a right-of-way use permit does not grant permission for the commercial use of that sidewalk cafe. You have to get a sidewalk cafe permit, and that no new sidewalk cafe permits would be issued to anything classified as a bar club, bar restaurant, or private event space. And as I mentioned last time, there's only one establishment that has been classified as a bar club. They already have a sidewalk cafe permit, so they would be eligible to renew that one. It doesn't impact anybody else that is operating today.
So what can you do if you get a right-of-way use permit?
If you have a right-of-way use permit, well, it depends on what that right-of-way use permit is. You think about on University Boulevard next door at CB&S Bank. They just have that right-of-way use permit to have built that balcony out into it. And a lot of times that's what we see. Or I think about...
So is that generally to permit the extension of a structure or signage?
Yes, sir, we see
Not
it.
to conduct business?
Correct. We see it for signage, for structures. The conduction of business is what this permit is for. For area and barriers, right now, of course, we require 6 feet of unobstructed pedestrian pathway. That is unchanged. We allow the area in front of the business and wrapping around the side if it's a corner lot, and that barriers are required to separate that cafe area from the sidewalk area. That is maintained for the most part, but what we are adding in is that the barriers must be in straight lines, no more of this zigzagging and bouncing back and forth. And the one minor addition to this is allowing for an entryway not to exceed 40 inches. And so we wanted to just make it clear you could have a break along that front pathway so someone could get into it. It doesn't have to be a continuous chain in that area. But it does have to run parallel to that front building wall. Sanitation, of course, maintaining our current language, but adding that quarterly pressure washing is required for the site. The business owner is supposed to maintain that area and to keep it clean, free of broken glass, etc.
Question
Yes, sir.
about that, Ashley. Is there, what if they don't? What if they refuse to do that?
If they were to refuse to do that, Lord help them. But
I don't want to make you mad.
no, it's not. No, the code enforcement team, between Chris Meggs and his team, Eric's team, and my team, looking out and seeing where we are having continued issues, it would make them eligible to potentially have their sidewalk cafe permit revoked.
Okay.
Yes, sir. From a furnishings perspective, of course, in 2022, we established more uniform furnishing types. We just wanted to add in language that the furnishings shall be uniform in design, not a mix within the sidewalk cafe itself. Not a mix of plastic furniture and metal furniture. Stick with one scheme, go with that. Alcoholic beverages, of course, continue to be allowed in sidewalk cafe areas. We are just adding that glass bottles, i.e. beer bottles, are prohibited. You can still have a wine bottle in that area, but beer bottles will not be allowed to be carried out onto that patio space. And then with queuing, we want to make it clear that a sidewalk cafe shall not be used for a queuing permit if that area is being used for queuing. And then on that same note, we propose starting the queuing permit at 9 p.m. rather than currently 11 p.m., allowing folks to get people into their businesses much quicker as opposed to staying out before that. Any questions about the text changes so we can shift into the fee schedule potentially?
And so I think this is probably a question for both. And I know, semi-know the answer to it, but I don't. Have we talked to the business owners downtown, which I know we probably have? And my second question would be kind of what's there, where do they stand on, are they okay with these?
Well, you got a corner of them full
I
over
know,
here.
I know.
Yeah, thankfully, Brandon Tribble and Wayne Yarbrough came and met with me a couple different times on this process, as well as I talked with Brandon Owens and a number of downtown merchants and also on the Strip. On the whole, the feedback that I have gotten is that the text changes are not what is causing the corner today. The discussion about fees, I believe, is a little bit of the concern potentially that they have, but the text changes don't really impact our existing businesses today.
Can I ask you a practical question?
Yes, sir.
Why 6 a.m.? I mean, bars close at either 3 o'clock on Saturday mornings and 2 o'clock the remainder of the week.
I can't remember why we wrote 6 a.m. when we first did the queuing permit ordinance. I wish I could. Mr. Holmes?
No, I'm right there with you.
Why don't we change it to something we can remember?
I like that.
Yeah.
We could change it to, we had similar language about, the closing times as established by.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Well, is this something we need to vote on today in committee?
From the text perspective, I would love to see it, just so Mr. Holmes's group can put it into ordinance form, and we could proceed with that in December, and then we could discuss the fee portion.
Okay.
Could the council insert the language of closing times?
Absolutely.
Is any legal issues with doing that? That
No,
seems practical.
It does.
Would that be?
Fine with me, does it make it a need for unanimous at council?
So
Would
this
make
hasn't even
changes.
made it to y'all. What you would be sending out of committee would be, you would say the amendments to section 2128 sidewalk cafes and section, sorry, I'm bad at flipping pages today apparently, section 2129 sidewalk queuing permits, except for the fees. Like, you're just passing out the fees and you can make changes on the floor here today.
So
and it'll be
really,
fine.
if we recommend this, that gives you an opportunity to write
Yes.
something up.
Yes, sir. And
Vote on
Mr.
it
Busby,
another
maybe going to your question, all of these changes that she's addressing today will be ordinances that amend the code, so they will all require either to be introduced and carried over or passed by unanimous consent the first time.
time. Okay. Any more comments?
When we're going back through this, if we come across a good logical reason as to why we chose 6 a.m., we'll inform council when it comes back.
Sure. I was gonna suggest that. You could call the mayor about 3:30 in the morning, tell him you thought.
I hear he likes that.
I bet.
Wait till 4:30, I'll be up.
Okay. Any other comments on this particular part of it? Well, do we have a motion to proceed with these text changes?
I'll make them.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Now, let's get to the fun part.
Let's get to the fun part. So let's talk about fees, council. Right now, yes, sir.
Before we, having evoked my admiration by using the word bifurcation, I will see you one. So, from a time sensitivity standpoint, is the ability to get the text changes in promptly alleviate that, or the fees time sensitive too?
As I understand from accounting and finance, the fees are also time sensitive,
Okay.
so that they can make changes to the fee schedule ahead of renewal season, which
So
starts in
y'all
January.
collect on calendar basis? Assess and,
I can get with Trent in the revenue division to confirm. I don't know if this is gonna be set up the same way as the others will, probably so.
okay, so what is that timeline for us, if we're making any changes to fees making?
As I understand from Ms. Standridge, the hope is that we get something out of a committee today. So, if we are unable to get something out of committee today, I am unsure what is next.
Can I say?
Yes, please. Oh, Mary Beth is here. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so, business license expire at the end of the year. And we start printing renewals the first week of December, because there's 20,000 of them. By law, we have to mail them out by December 31st. So in order for the fee to be changed, then it has to be approved, pretty much today.
Is the fees for usage of the sidewalk? That impacts the business? That's on the business license?
The renewal of the sidewalk cafe.
The renewal of the sidewalk cafe, category, and the assessment of how many square feet you're paying on.
Correct.
That's part of, okay?
Is this doubled up on the agenda today?
No, ma'am.
No,
No, it's not even ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Let me ask you this, are you talking about in terms of calculation of the business license?
Yeah, so right now it's $1.04 per square footage. If we wanted to increase that rate, then we would need to decide that now. Because when we print the renewals, it will say $1.04.
For I think hopefully a little bit of clarification, this is one of, so if you have Joe's Hamburger Shop, you're gonna have your restaurant business license. If you have Joe's Hamburger Shop with a sidewalk cafe, that's going to be a second business license, and you may have retail beer or retail this. All of those are gonna get renewed around the same time in January. So for our friends in revenue, look at each of these different types as a business license, though they may not be what we think of as a business license when we typically
Is a
discuss it.
sidewalk cafe a license or a permit?
It's a license.
And since it's a license, it has to fall on a January 1, December 30th?
It only has to fall on a January 1 basis because that's what we have in code. I don't know of any reason why we couldn't change that, but I'm already stepping on revenue's feet
I'll
enough.
have to look into that as well.
Could we amend, could the council, not me, could the council amend this at a later date? In other words, when we issue, because I'll just be blunt, I don't see this moving out as quickly as accounting and finance wants it to move. And I understand that. But if the council at some point in the next few weeks determined a rate structure, could that difference be made up in the calendar year? Or I guess they could just make it effective fiscal year 2027 or calendar year 27.
Right. I think there may be two options, and I'm going to oversimplify it. And it would be just that if the council chose to make an amendment to the fee schedule and we missed the mail out deadline, for lack of a better term, then it would become effective for calendar 27. Or we could potentially hold those 25
That's all we're talking
individuals.
about, right?
Right, there's 25-ish that have a current sidewalk cafe license. We could maybe print those. Let's say a decision is made December 9th or December 16th. I think those were the right calendar days. We could hold those, print them, ship them. We'd still make our deadline potentially.
I could add a third, more complicated lawyer option.
Can I look at it? Can I ask one more thing before you add the third complicated? Could the council pass the text amendment, which I think is really good in the changes made, and then take a little bit more time on a fee schedule to be implemented, if they so choose, next calendar year?
1,000,000,000%.
That may be an option, Mr. Fell, for the council.
It may be, and that we may, unless we can come to some agreement pretty soon, I think so, but we'll just, Ashley and I have discussed this several times.
Can I ask you a question?
Please, or
The
Ashley
biggest,
knows
the
the
biggest
answer.
problem you've got, though, is we don't know what that fee's gonna be. And if everybody decides we're gonna arbitrarily do whatever, we don't have any feedback from any business people or anything else unless we decide as presented, this is what we're gonna do with. I don't think we should do that. Not without getting feedback from business owners, because they're already making their plans for the first of the year or whatever. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
I do know
Well-
that her team has been engaging with
Yes.
Yes, sir.
They've been discussing this with them quite a bit.
But,
Yes,
but
sir.
what if we wanted to raise it? Or are
Well,
we gonna be voting for what the recommendation, or what we're talking about here? That may
Well,
not be the number we're talking
it
about.
may not be. I would recommend in some form or fashion, option 4, with some sort of flat fee. I know it's different for non-alcohol and with alcohol. And what I really like about it is that we won't have to touch it for several years. It won't come up again until 31 unless somebody decided to do that. And I know it hasn't been too very long ago that we discussed this already. And I would
Right.
like to see it set and done and move on.
Can we have her present the?
Yes, that's what I wanted her to do, yes, very much so.
So let me walk you through these options very quickly, and then I will toss it back to y'all as the council for a discussion. Mr. Fail, you alluded to the very right-hand side of your column, which is prior to 2022, and what you'll see are those flat rates. And you've also got a version, if you prefer it to be in front of you, the blue and green copy with the table in front of you. So prior to 22, we had flat fees. If you had no alcohol, it was $100 a year. If you had alcohol, it was $250 a year. So we changed it to what you currently see today, which is $1 per square foot, which has been adjusted with the CPI. So we are up to $1.04 per square foot, which is what we charge today. Based on the conversations that were had a couple of weeks ago, we went and I created options, and that is all it is. It is just options. So option one, of course, takes a look at a per square foot. You go to $1.50 for no alcohol, and you go to $2.50 per square foot if you have alcohol. We would adjust that based on the yearly CPI. Option two is the Asheville model. It's also a per square foot model, adjust for the CPI, and is $7 per square foot. Option three would be a per square foot per month. It's a monthly model, like you see Oxford, Mississippi has. We kept that at the $1.04 per square foot, but that would be a monthly charge instead of a yearly charge. Option four, of course, Mr. Fail alluded to that as well. That is that flat fee increase of 50 cents a year for no alcohol, $1 per year if you do have alcohol through 2031. There would be no yearly CPI increase on that. Option five is a modified New Orleans model. You can see $50 per table or $10 per chair if your tables are more than 4. If you have no alcohol, if you do have alcohol, $75 per table, $20 a chair if you have a bigger table. And then option six is option one with a cap. If you have alcohol, that yearly cap would be $2,000. If you do not have alcohol, it would be $500. So those are the options. Those can all be modified. Those were just me throwing some spaghetti at the wall to see what might stick. I know we've had opportunities, a couple of you have discussed with the downtown merchants and the business owners as well, that I have. And so I can answer questions.
Go ahead.
So, thank you for the recap of the options. I think we're a lot closer to getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope we would take the passage of the text portion that we did and send it out today, okay? And let's continue the discussion we've got here on the fees. We've got business owners, we've got residents. Let's use this time to get some of that out on the table. But let's please not try to choke this down our throats now. We can get this done in a week or two, I'm pretty sure. It's gonna take some, like I said, we don't need to be negotiating between 3 or 7 people at the table, I hope.
Yeah, I agree with Councilor Buzz, but I like to take, I mean, if it's okay with the rest of the council, I like to take my time and have some more conversations
Sure.
with the downtown merchants and city staff to see what's the best option. I know with the text, there is gonna be some expense on some of the business owners, and I'd hate to hit them with that expense and then hit them with a fee increase all at the same time. So I'd like to take a little bit more time if it's okay with you, Mr.
That's
Chairman.
fine with me. I
Have
just
more
want us to
discussion.
remember that we're giving them, even if the price is in number 4, we're giving them a real deal. I mean, if you're paying $20 or $30 a square foot and we're giving it to you for $1 or $2, you're getting a real deal.
I-
You really
I
are. Just a
agree.
minute. I'll get with you.
I think also, some of this is in my district as well.
Sure.
And I do think it brings another value to the district and to the city as well. I think sometimes we can't just look at the deal. We've got to look at what it brings to the table and what value it adds to our community as well. So again, I'd like to just hear more and take more time to really just to see how it may impact some businesses downtown, because all of them aren't created, all sidewalk cafes aren't created equal.
Correct.
And it may have a different impact on some, and I hate to lose any business in the city, period, over an extra $5,000-$10,000 a year, that I think this may create, so.
Well, I think, for instance, I just jumped down here to Glory Bound. They would, in 7 years, be paying $27.30. Heat Pizza would be up pretty high from where they are now to $4,000. So we're not really.
Yeah.
I don't want to misunderstand. We're not talking about $10,000.
Yeah.
So, but I agree. I'm just fine with discussing it, but I really think personally that we need to raise these prices somewhat, somewhere, somehow. So, do we need to table this?
Well, why don't we?
Well, I know we want to. But I know, I'm just asking the question. We're going to let. I would only, because of the time, I would just like one of you, whoever your representative is, to come up here. But my question was, I guess, to Brandy, do we need to table this?
I think it would be fine if we tabled it. I do think we should make a note that the next time we meet won't be until the 16th, which is the last meeting of the year.
Okay. Well, I will. Let's.
This committee can meet on the
So,
line.
so do we need to go ahead and make a motion to move the tape?
Let's do it. Let's table it if that's what y'all want to do. I think
Well, I'm
you
talking about
do.
the text part.
Y'all have already passed
No,
the
no,
text.
we've
already
passed
passed
the
the
text.
text.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
This
Okay.
is what we're doing. But, and then we'll let this gentleman speak, but I thought we'd go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to table it?
I make a motion to table it. I mean, how long do we
I'll
want to table?
second. The question is when.
When?
The committee doesn't meet on the
The committee
9th.
doesn't have another regularly scheduled meeting until the 16th.
What would
If
be in,
you wanted to have a special called meeting at maybe 4
I mean, I'm
o'clock
okay
on the
with going to
9th, you
16.
could do that as well.
Sure. That'll be fine
what
with
do you think
me.
about that, John?
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. I just hope in the meantime, but anyway, we got a
So
motion.
the motion would be to have a special call at 4 o'clock on the 9th.
Is that what you want to do, Mr. Chairman, on the
That's
9th?
fine with
Or
me
16th?
if we
Is
think
that
we
on
can
the
come to
16th?
something then.
Is there not enough time?
I don't know.
One more session.
Okay, yeah.
I make
I
I make a
like-
motion to table to, a special call meeting on December the,
Nine.
all need to be
Yeah.
involved in that.
Ninth.
Special call
All right,
meeting.
we have a motion, a second.
Yeah.
I'm sure-
What about, just hang on.
I don't mind.
What, could we do it on the 16th, Brandy?
Yes, that's a regular.
All right.
I'm fine with
Could we change the 16th? Is that
I make a
okay?
motion to table to
All
December
right,
16th.
got a motion and a
How is this
second.
gonna work? Is there gonna be debate between all of us about what option that's out of the committee?
Do we need to?
We'll need to work on that after we table it. And
Well, the
hear
text
from this
already been
gentleman.
approved.
We're running out of time
Text is
too.
fine. I think-
I make a motion to table to December 16th.
Okay, you second that? All right, all in favor? All right, that passes. Thank you. Yes, sir. Come up here. Briefly though, because we've got another
Take
committee.
about 5 minutes. Let me give you the, I'm Wayne
Yeah,
Yarborough.
we-
Let's listen.
The downtown market. So I've talked with several council people and Ashley, and let me give you the business people's side of that. If you go back and look at the document Ashley gave you, and you look and compare fees, right now at $1, we're higher than Birmingham, we're higher than Auburn, we're higher than Opelika, we're higher than Knoxville, Tennessee, we're higher than Fayetteville, Arkansas, we're higher than Greenville, South Carolina. I don't know if some of y'all have been to Greenville, South Carolina. They got a really dynamic downtown. And so from our standpoint, we're already paying more than a lot of bigger cities than we are. What we feel like, I get the city wants to make money, but we're making money for the city out of that. We pay an extra 7% on liquor sales. So to have a vibrant city and a vibrant sidewalk, that's helping the city. You're making money off of this patio. So what we would like to do is see us go something along the lines of Athens, Georgia, which is a college town. They have a vibrant downtown. They're paying $1.50 a foot. That's a 50% increase on us. And then do a CPI. That would be our premise. But that number 4, that's crazy. That's a $400 or $500 That's a 400% increase in just a few years. In 5 years, we've gone from $1 to $4. That's a huge increase for us. And we're making money for the city as it is, and we're making people want to come down because of it. And a lot of us have put big investments in those sidewalk cafes to make them nicer. So that's our thoughts.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's what we'd like, $1.50.
Okay, so anybody got anything else to bring before this committee today? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
All in favor?
Mr. Fail, I believe there's an
Oh,
additional
I'm
item that you
sorry.
requested.
I apologize. Mr. Busby asked me to put something on here. I'm just trying to get done.
And
Yeah.
I can talk very quickly through.
No,
kind
no,
of where
no.
this
Let's
started and
take
what
that.
got
We'll hold that. I did not pound the gavel. But go ahead. I'm sorry. That got my attention. But Mr. Busby asked for this, and I think it's a good idea. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. So back in, I think, September, Mr. Busby, you reached out to the mayor, myself, and some other staff members asking for us to look at a state legislative solution to businesses masquerading as a restaurant, but really acting as a bar. We met internally with all the revenue folks and with planning and looked at it. And we have one bit of good news, and we think that framework and much of the zoning changes that have been done over the last year will help prevent this in the future. However, as we all know with zoning, that is all prospective. It doesn't do anything with where we currently are. One idea that has been discussed, I think you've discussed it in the past, Mr. Busby, is let's just set an amount. Because currently under ABC regulations, a restaurant is, I think, principally and habitually operates as a restaurant or some sort of other vague language that is difficult for the ABC to enforce. Looked back and did some research, and actually in, I believe, 2020 or 2021, the ABC proposed an amendment to their regulations, not state code, but their internal regulations, that would have set a restaurant by definition to be a business that had no more than 50% of their sales from alcohol. And so I requested the LSA to draft us up a bill to review. And you will see in front of you a bill that is extremely hot off the presses. If you'll look at the date at the top, I got it at sometime during projects today. And so this bill, as written currently, would set that cap that no business could qualify for a restaurant liquor license if they have more than 50% of their total revenue in a calendar year from the sale of alcoholic beverages. In the ABC's efforts to amend their regulations a few years ago stalled out with opposition from restaurant groups. I know some of the items that have come up are, say you go to a nice Italian restaurant and you order a nice $13 plate of pasta, but you also order a $45 bottle of wine. In that instance, your check is going to be heavy alcohol, less food. I don't know. My guess is there's somewhere that makes sense where that starts to level off. Everybody in there is not ordering an expensive bottle of wine, I assume, Christian. I don't know, you'd be happy if they did.
We're good in this law.
And so I don't know where that is. I do think getting something out there and getting that conversation started, I think would be a good thing. So this is, I've been waiting on getting this draft to review it with you, Mr. Busby. I know this got put on the agenda and I just got it today, so we'll do it here publicly, I guess.
Okay, well, I appreciate the update,
Yes,
and I look forward to the conversation. And truly, the hard part will be determining where that is,
Yes.
because nobody's interested in some sort of draconian, unreasonable definition of a restaurant. But we all sitting here know, we've got institutions that have gotten alcohol licenses as restaurants. We don't sell any meaningful food. It's a bar. So we'll figure out how to address that. That's what we're trying to figure out with targets, not restaurants.
Yes.
Excuse me.
would we, this would have to go be an act of the legislature?
This would be a statewide act of the legislature, and
If
as
it's already in the internal ABC rules, why don't we even have to do anything?
it's not, that it was
not.
proposed
Okay.
and that amendment failed.
Okay.
But I did speak with the ABC. I think the ABC would, I don't want to say they'd be in favor of it, but they had proposed this themselves, and so I don't think there would be a lot of heartburn for them if we were working on this through the legislature. And this is on the draft legislative agenda that I think's been sent around by the mayor a couple times.
Okay.
Thank you, appreciate you including that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? All right, I guess we need to make another motion to adjourn.
I'll make another motion.